Hey, what's up? It's Rashad and OG friend of the fam, Antonio. And this is, of course, like the
Well,
second episode of Upon Further Review, where we talk about other things. And today, and shoot, the next couple Mondays, man, we about to be talking about The Last of Us. We
yes.
both saw The Last of Us last night. Of course, all spoilers. Got to talk about the thing to talk about the thing. And who boy, I just want to preface
Yeah.
all this with this right here, okay? Thriller horror is not my genre at all. Like I don't really be in indulging in this. Being scared to me isn't entertaining to me, okay? I'm just gonna be. However,
Okay.
this first episode of this series, man, has hit all the spots that it needed to be hit for me to stick on and actually want to watch this show. Like
Man.
it had every like it has man, this has the elements of I don't want to be hyperbolic, but I don't care.
Right.
This has the elements of being the best video game adaptation of anything,
Yes.
period.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
it really does. I'm not I don't be trying. I'm just being for
We
real, y'all. Like
yeah, it's like we're not trying to hype it
I'm
one
not
bit,
like,
but
but as of okay, let's just on the merits of a brand new series. This
mhm.
is a really fantastic pilot.
So this isn't your stereotypical zombie apocalypse type thing where there's like a virus or anything like that. This is fungal. And the one guy that was a guest on the show for 68, he explained it. He was like, it's like, we agree, but we disagree on how it's going to be done. Well, it's fungal. Here's the part that's kind of scary. There actually is a fungus that does this to insects.
Yeah,
That
so
actually, insects get contaminated with this fungus, and this fungus basically takes over the insect's body. The insect is basically a host.
is it
It
cordyceps? What's the name of it? Isn't that the
it's
fungus?
yeah, it's one of those weird names. I can't pronounce it. Right
Yeah,
there.
cordyceps is the name of
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
cordyceps. Yeah, so it really does happen. And when he was talking about it, and then he brought up, hey, right now it can't live in like 94, past 94 degrees or whatever. He says, but what if, what I'm saying, the planet heats up over times and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, global warming. We're bringing
Yes.
this into it. And basically, that's exactly what happens. This, like you said, Rashad, this show hit every point that you want in a pilot. It, to quote Calvin Candy, it piqued my interest. It piqued my interest. And I'm going this full disclosure. I'm a video game person. I never played this game. So I'm going into this blind, just like I believe Rashad is as
Yeah.
well.
I'm aware of the video
So
game and never I don't play games.
right, right. Knew of the game. I knew of the game. Never played it, whatever like that. But I've done some little independent research on some stuff now, which I'll, bring up something I think is very ironic. That's on one that's dealing with the game in the show. But yeah, man. I mean, it it starts off like that, and the next thing you know, what, like basically 40 years later, here we go. Just
Bruh, but
and
like and you know what was so like because you know it's gonna happen. And just the beginning of the outbreak itself, like that first 25 minutes was so tense because
yes,
you know it's about to go down. You just don't know when. And the whole day to set up, you know what I'm saying? Even just okay, I'm just all right. So you have a man, Pedro Pascal's character. You have his daughter, you know what I'm saying?
Joe
Then you
Joe
have
what Joey and Sarah,
yeah, Joel. I don't know.
Joel,
Yeah,
Joel,
Joel. Yeah, yeah,
Joel
yeah.
and Sarah. Yeah,
Joel, Sarah, they got his brother, you know what I'm saying? So we have
Tommy.
this kind of disjointed family unit. Mom's gone, I guess. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's a very much of like a community, you know what I'm saying? They're at the end of this cul-de-sac and everybody knows
Mm-hmm.
each other. There's the neighbors, you know what I'm saying? And there's like
Mm-hmm.
the great grandmother who's basically old with dementia and she goes out. It's like, it's a whole thing. Like he's working. You see, like he's a Iraq war vet. So they set up a lot of stuff in just like 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the like, yo, like Tony, when she goes to school, leaves school, goes, and then they were Austin, Texas, by the way.
Yeah.
And she goes to get that her watch fixed for her dad.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
when that lady said, hey, yeah, you need to leave. And he was
Go
like,
home.
yo, he said, I've already fixed the watch. Said, okay, you need to
Okay.
go home
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I was
Go
like,
home.
oh, snap.
Right. Because you
What is
just saw
going
the police
on?
cars and the
Police
ambulance
calls and
speeding,
yeah, like
speeding
you hear
down the street.
like helicopters and like
Yeah.
planes and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, what is going on, yo? And
Right.
then she goes back to the crib. You know what I'm saying? Goes to her neighbor's house. And like they're making cookies and stuff. And in the background, you see
Yo.
grandma just tweaking
My
out.
tweaking to him. I was like, yeah. I was like, turn around, girl. The grandma stopped. Cause grandma was like, I said, dementia. She's like, she's there, but not there. And she's just sitting there. And then she started tweaking and pop locking and getting her. Yo, I was like,
Oh,
yo, little
God.
girl, turn around, little girl. Like, oh my God.
And
And,
then
and then the
and then you
dog.
have I'm about to say the animal trope. You know what I'm saying? The animal trope. The animal knows something's going on. And even that dog at the end, like saying
Yo,
like that night, the
she
dog
was
got
like, come
out.
on. She was like, come on, come on. Dog was like,
He's
nope.
like
Hey, but you know what? That has always been a thing. They say even in real life, like, yo,
yeah, I
pay
mean,
attention to the animals.
yeah,
Like, for real. Like,
movie like tropes kind of have it's almost like stereotypes. They have some
yeah.
realistic to reality. You know what I'm saying?
But the way the dog was staring at that when it came back, the
Oh
lady
yeah,
just
that was like
was just back. The dog was looking yo, yo, what's good with this chick right here? What so, and she noticed why is the dog staring at her like that or whatever, man.
bro.
But the father comes home from work and it's his birthday and they're supposed to celebrate and he gets a phone call and it's from his brother and I guess his brother is kind of like the
Loose
that
cannon in the
person
family.
that person in the family. Listen, man, everybody got that one person in the family, and I guess that's his brother. And his brother's like, "Hey, man, I'm in jail. I've been arrested."
So you gotta
And he
get
was
me
like,
out.
"You
It's
saw a patch
Friday.
open. You saw his face. He was like, what did you do?" He's like, "Man, it wasn't me." He was like, "We was at the bar, and this dude just was going off, and I was protecting, this woman, man." And he was like, "Can I get you tomorrow?" He said, "No, it's Friday. I'm gonna be stuck in this jail the whole weekend if you don't come get me out right now." And he
Yes.
was like, "All right, I'll come get you." And you saw when they left, it was like 11:03, 11:05 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he put his daughter to bed. The daughter woke up. It was it like two
Like
something in
two in
the
the morning,
morning?
2:30, something like that. It was two.
Yeah, yeah. And nobody was home. Nobody was home. She was like, Dad, trying to look around to see what was going on. And that's when
Then
the
she turned
dog
it.
scared the
Then no, she turned the TV on first,
right. And
and
you
it
had
wasn't
the
no,
public
it wasn't no
the
TV.
public
You know what I'm saying?
time to the TV turned off. It wasn't no TV. They had the public address announcement. And mind you, this is 2003. Stuff is still on TV at 2 o'clock
Oh
in the
yeah,
daggone morning, man. And then the dog scares the bejeebus out of her, hopping on the window, and she trying to take the dog back to the house. The dog is like, "I don't want to go in there." He said, "Yeah,
girl. I
girl,
came over here for a reason,
I'm over
yo.
here for a reason." Like, girl. And then the dog said, "Nope, we worked itself out that collar and dip." She goes in the
Gone.
house and she's first of all, you already know. Let's get black real quick.
Yeah.
That would have been us. Mm-mm.
I was,
Mm-mm.
I don't like
Mm-mm.
how this feel. Door
I
open.
don't like it. Door open. Mm-mm. Yeah, I'm gonna go back in my house and stay in the daggone room.
Not even that. Not
She
even that. Like when she walks to the kitchen and sees sees like the dude, the man that was in the house, and your
yeah.
man selfishly says, "Help me." He's like, she was
Right.
like,
Help
and she
me.
saw that
Like
all that.
she
Saw that.
bleeding.
He saw that blood on the ground. I was like, "Oh, so the heck is this?" Looked up. Help me. He all
Right.
bit up. Like all this is just messed up.
Okay, like that's what you like, bro. I can't help you. I'm gone, Jack, or whatever. Then she sees old lady grandmama just, and the thing is, she wasn't eating. It was like the parasite or the fungus was was it me and the fungus was coming out the mouth like leeching on.
It was super weird, y'all.
Weird. Yeah, it was weird how they did it. And then, she starts to run, the thing chasing behind her. Her dad and uncle pull up. And, then she's on the ground getting up and trying to pop lock to get up and daggone crawl to her. And he's like, what do you want me to do? I'd have been like, yo, pull that trigger, bro. He just slapped her in the face with a daggone wrench. And he was like, you killed her. Like, you killed her. Little girl, did you see what was going on here?
You just saw
like,
it in the house yourself.
Right. And then, of course, you got neighbors coming out. What's going on? Hey, go in the house and lock the door. Like, if somebody tells me that, Rashad, let me explain something to you. I'm going in the house.
I'm not going out the house.
I'm locking the door. Right.
What's going on out there? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what's going on.
Looking out the blind light. Hold on.
Yeah.
Look at these people out here.
Yeah, a whole lot of noise out there.
A lot of noise out there. Right. And then like the victims, the guy that was like, help me, him and his wife or whatever, they come pop locking out the house too. My man was like, well, hey, floor it. It's just run them over. And the neighbor goes, and then you see the neighbor get taken out. And they're just trying to figure out what, and I can imagine that's how, if something like this ever happened, God forbid, I can imagine it being a nut house.
It's just straight. It's like
anarchy.
There's so much like for shock, you know what I'm saying? And then terror. And then your parasympathetic nervous system kicks in. You fight or flight or fear. And these people were trying their best to get out. He like my man, again, being an Army veteran, hit those, you know what I'm saying? Those military instincts kicked in like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They saw the family on the side of the road with help. He said, keep going.
He said, no.
He said,
somebody else coming.
Here go the daughter. It's we can put him in the back. No, we straight or whatever. Let's go. And then like I said, his Army instinct kicked in, and he's just like, well, we should go here or whatever. He started thinking, go north. Go, you know what I'm saying? He was like, we're gonna go here, and we're gonna just try to make our way to Mexico. He said, because I think this thing is, you know what I'm saying, everywhere. And stuff happens, the chaos happens, and airplane. Listen, they saw like 3-4 airplanes back to back, like on each other's tail. Can you just imagine what was going on in them airplanes, Rashad? Think about that. That's what I was thinking. Like, oh my God, what is going on in them airplanes right now? And the thing is, if they're landing, guess what? Airplanes don't be that back-to-back landed. They were not like
even that. Like, is there even an airport in Austin? It can't be no major airport. I know that. You know what I'm saying? Those are like regular commercial airline flights. There wasn't like no smaller flights. You know what I'm saying? Like a connecting flight. No,
a connecting flight. No, those were like 757s or whatever. So there were the 3 rows and on the airplane, man. It built so much tension, like you said. That whole series. Yeah. Then get disconnected from his brother. And the car crash, the girl breaks her ankle, fractures her ankle or whatever, can't get out, and they walk in, and then you see the BS, the government BS. You got the soldier with the biohazard
but like night before that, was when they got separated, and like dude was trying to find his way out carrying his daughter. And then the dude, my man was like, I was like, oh snap.
So it was an alley full of them.
Yeah,
it was an alley full of them, just knowing having a meal. And then one of them looked up. He was like, it was a wrap. And then you got the government agent dude who killed them. And he was like, hey man, we are not infected. My daughter's ankle, leg is. He said, can you help us? He's like, hold on.
He said, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you saw the body acting like.
He said, yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Right. He pulled. Look, man, he was like, I'm sorry, but y'all gotta go. And he fires off the shots, and like they try to dive and fall down the hill and thinking everything is okay. The dude comes back and finds them, and then the brother comes and saves them. But then the sad part happened.
Say, yo, this girl's gonna die, yo. Like,
yeah,
I knew the girl had to die.
I said she was either gonna die or get turned. That's
Nah, I
said
felt
that.
like she was gonna die. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? But
and
like, cause she,
she
yeah,
died, and she died in his arms, and it was like a helpless thing. He tried to pick her up, and and he was like, I know, it's someone, we're gonna get you. And then he just cuts and he looks at his brother, and the brother looked at him and was like, she gone, man. And sure enough, that's what happened. And yeah, it was a tearjerker. That part was
that jump was
yeah,
woo, that
yeah,
for man,
yeah.
man. Like when I'm like this is what I'm saying. For a pilot, this is how you this is how you establish your setting, your
Mm-hmm.
characters, and the stakes of the story. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is how you guys, this is plot 101. You know what I'm saying? When I
Mm-hmm.
mean this was like this is how you brilliantly explain exposition and not be boring.
Mm-hmm.
And even when they're like
Mm-hmm.
we cut 20 years later and everybody's is in these like, little zones, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
It's
it's
like a
crazy.
it's like a totalitarian state or whatever, man.
Yeah, basically,
So
yeah,
yeah.
basically. So everybody left from he's in Boston, which is
Right. Yeah.
crazy because like Austin
Yeah.
to
From
Boston is
Austin
like
to
that's a
Boston.
long way. You know what I'm
And you
saying?
got to think too, you know, some of that was walking. All that went on vehicle. Some of
Uh-uh.
that was walk. Some of that was walking. Over time. So I'm not gonna say I'm pretty sure, but I'm sure they're gonna probably show some flashback scenes at some point
Yeah,
of
that
his
would be pretty
journey.
dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You got
to
yeah,
get
gotta let
there.
us cue us in because that 20 years later was like 20 years later, like that's a
Yeah,
minute.
and you see like a kid just walking around out there. I was like, what the world's going on with this kid? And then the people at the soldiers and stuff at the gate see him. They bring him in, latch him up, and talk to him, and take samples of
I
him and
said, man, they
everything.
about to kill this kid, yo.
Yeah, and then what did they do?
He said, hey, yo, he said, how you feeling? He said, when did you get that? I said,
Where you
yeah.
get that?
Because and again another cool thing too was like even before they got to the kid and put him in the chair, that scene you see a sign on the wall talking about if you get bit and where you get bit and how long it
Mm-hmm.
takes for you to be infected. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because if you get bit in your face, it's like quick, and your arms is like a little less. But if it's like your
A
leg,
day
it's
or
like
so.
12,
Yeah.
24 hours. So a kid
Yeah.
got bit in his leg, I guess. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yeah, he gonna get some medicine to make it feel better. Just straight euthanized that bastard, yo.
Right. Straight euthanized the kid or whatever, right there in front of him. And it was cold about it too. It was cold about it, and the next thing you know, you see people burning,
Just burning
dead
people.
folk, burning people who were probably infected with it, and then you see the shoes that the kid had because I love too how they zoomed in on the shoes when you first
Yeah,
see
I
the
was like,
kid.
yo, he got these dirty DC
Dirty
skate
D
sneakers.
skate sneakers on, busted out. I don't care if this is a pandemic. You better stay fresh with your kicks, son. Let me stop.
Yeah. Tape those sneakers up, man.
Put some daggone, go to a creek, get some creek water on them jakes and clean it or something. But yeah, but the kid, is dead, and then you see Joel, he's now, accustomed to his life
Yeah,
there.
that man is
But my
numb.
man, is basically like that guy there. Like he's that guy there, he said, "Hey, what's another job you got?" He said, "What's the highest paying job?" Dude was like shoveling ish. He was like, psh. He says, "All right, then sign me up for it." He takes that job, and then he's who cares? It's a pandemic. We're gonna make sure we still get some drugs out here in this.
Yo, yo,
They said you must have got this from
yo.
Atlanta. He says the only thing they producing down there are bullets and oxy. I said, what?
I was like,
What?
yo,
This
your man got drugs and cigarettes, yo. It's like,
right, cigarettes. Yeah, yeah, cigarettes and drugs. And I mean, had like, and it wasn't like a couple of pills. That was
nah, he had a nice
a
amount. You know what I'm saying? Like
nice
he,
little amount of pills for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and, he done worked his way where he's like, got him an inside cop guy, what I'm saying, that he's supplying his drugs for, what I'm saying? And the dude's giving him information like, hey, yeah, these renegades out here having a problem. So you have the fireflies. And it's
yeah,
just basically whenever it never fails, whenever something like this happens in a movie where there's a totalitarian state, and the military has just completely taken over stuff. You got people who are always trying to be like, oh, damn the man, what our oppression, they're
Yeah,
trying to fight the
power to the people.
power to the people type thing. Like, I don't know if you really want that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying what, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
because it's a crazy dynamic. Because even though like he's like the man there, it clearly
Mm-hmm.
shows you that he still don't mean nothing,
Right.
like the grander scheme of things. And
Mm-hmm.
and it also shows you just a hierarchy of basically humanity at the time. It's like, yo, government
Mm-hmm.
stepped in, shut everything down, and now we have these very strict ardent rules to govern ourselves by, so humanity can essentially continue to live. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Which is which is rather, I mean, which is very much a realistic thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it makes sense though.
Oh, definitely,
Definitely makes
definitely makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah, I get it that some things might be out of hand, but look, people, y'all are in a in a in a pandemic epidemic, a
Yo,
worldwide, what I'm saying, extinction level type thing right here. Yeah, I don't think I just want some random people trying to run stuff saying, oh yeah, we should be able to do what the hell we want. Hey, I,
nah,
I'm saying
nah, yo, no, 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 no,
I'm
no.
cool with somebody telling me, hey, look, don't go here, don't go here. Make sure y'all do this.
Yeah, I
Aye, aye,
wish, yeah, I
Captain.
wish the living conditions were a little bit better, but you know what I'm saying, like I like,
Right.
yeah, it's definitely should be some sort of balance. We won't get into the politics of this, but anyway,
Yeah. Right.
so we also see that your man, you know what I'm saying, he goes home, has
Got him a,
got a little, got a little girl, whatever, you know what I'm saying,
got my little jank. You know what I'm
you know what I'm
saying?
saying, common law marriage popping off. So
Uh-huh.
and they're trying to do something. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to do.
I
They're
think
trying.
they're trying to, from what I saw, remember, they're trying to leave to find his brother.
Yeah. Yes. And
They find his.
I was gonna get to that. So
Oh,
he
I'm sorry.
no, you good. They're trying to buy a truck battery from this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, the battery's good. We're gonna be out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out, your dude straight just double crossed them
Mm-hmm.
and sold the battery to somebody else. So
Yes.
she ends up cutscene confronting the guy or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they end up beating her up.
Beating her up. They beat her.
She's
His people beat her up, but then when they send her before him, he's like,
what do
y'all
y'all
know who y'all just beat.
do?
Y'all know who y'all just like beat. You know what vibes I got from that scene? John Wick.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
first
yeah,
John
yeah,
Wick.
yeah,
He was
yeah,
like, "Where'd
yeah.
you get that car from?" He was like, from this guy, whatever. We beat him up, and
You
we
killed this
killed this
dog.
dog. Killed this. Oh, you killed this dog. You got to be the dumbest mother. And like he was like, oh, and then it was like, man, we don't even want to. He was like, yo, I don't even want to send you back because if he sees you like this, and she was like, well, do you want him to come looking for me? And that's what he was like. Look, tell him I didn't have anything to do with this. He said, tell him I didn't have anything to do. This wasn't me. I didn't know. It wasn't me. Like, and I love too how like when she gets back to Joelle and she tells him and he sees her face and he's like, yo, who did this to you? And my man was about that action. He got it. And she was like, no, I promised him that we weren't going to hurt him. This and that, blah, blah. He double crossed us or whatever. I promised we wouldn't hurt us. But what I really want you to do is we're gonna find him and we're gonna hurt this man or whatever.
No, it was
And
even crazy.
so
Remember, like even before she was trying to negotiate to get out, and then like a straight explosion rocks
yeah,
that building, and
yeah,
the military is fighting the fireflies. You know what I'm saying, in
mm-hmm,
that area, and she gets caught up in that, and like it
yeah,
ends up in jail for the rest of the day. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. She's like, I'm not with them, yo. She was like, I'm just walking the
He
streets
was
here
like,
and whatnot.
with him.
Shut up, shut up, shut up. We need to
Yeah,
go
yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway,
So, so then we're introduced to Ellie.
yes,
Introduced to Ellie, little girl who's being held captive.
Lady Mormont.
Lady Mormont from Game of Thrones for Game of Thrones fans. It's so funny hearing her talk in American accent because we know that she's British. or whatever. Also, by the way, the young lady that played Pedro Pascal's daughter that died, she's
She's British
British as
too.
well. Yeah, she's British
I
too,
was
which
like,
is
yo, that,
all taking all the American
that
jobs,
really that really
American
surprised
actors.
me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway,
So Ellie is like in this room chained to a
a
heater
radiator.
radiator, whatever. And she's like,
Like some
yo, and they
old
come
like
in to let
70s child abuse going on in
yeah,
here.
yeah. And she's like, what's the Black Snake Moan type stuff, whatever that movie. And so yeah, I went there. And so she's just like, yo, let me out of here. And she's cussing about and stuff. And there's like, count to 10, 1, 2, 3%, slower. And she's counting to 10. It says 9, 10, F you or whatever. And then
Seven,
she's like,
eight, F
F
you.
you. And then she was like, well, what is your name? Veronica. What is she gives her name? And they're talking. And she's like, okay. And the thing is, she was like, and her hand was already up. Because she's like, look, we've been through this. I already know what's going on with this or with her or whatever. Well, got to find out something is important the young lady and the Fireflies have her, and they're going to transport her to another Firefly location across the country or whatever, because the Firefly is a complete network and they're able to get stuff. So here's the little random. The lady that's the head Firefly in Boston, was it Marlene?
Yeah, Marlene, something like that. Yeah.
Marlene, the actress that played her in the game is actually playing her now. She's the same actress in the
Who
game.
is that?
Her name, pardon
I've
me.
seen her. So I've seen her somewhere before,
I've
yo.
seen her before too. Give me 1 second.
Because the crazy part for me was like, she's like, look, yo, remember, like I'm the reason why you still alive. You know what I'm saying? Like I told
Right.
him not to shoot you. And even though it's been like basically like what, like 3 weeks since she's been there.
Yeah,
So
she's been there
so like
3 weeks.
yeah,
Yes.
so she's basically got infected, but she hasn't turned.
The actress
And
name is Meryl Dandridge.
of the of the Dorothy Dandridge family.
I said that. I was like, is she related? She related to Dorothy? I hear Dandridge or whatever.
No, that's not a real like.
No, it says she is an American actress and singer, best known for performing Broadway musicals such
Yeah,
as Jesus Christ Superstar, Rent, Once on This Island, and she was the Marlene, known for Marlene of Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2 video game, and is now playing the motion caption for that. She's also in or has a leading role in Oprah Winfrey's Greenleaf.
that's where I know her from. That's where I
Yes.
know. I knew she was. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
And she
I knew
also
I
had
wasn't bugging, yo.
she also had a reoccurring role on Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, I know my son's Anarchy.
I
But
didn't
yeah,
either.
but yeah,
So yeah.
she was on Greenleaf. I watched all 5 seasons of that nonsense. Another story, another day. All right, okay.
Yeah.
Now, yeah,
So yeah.
she's a great actress.
she's playing. You know what I'm saying. So she's playing the character that she played, same
And
character,
oh, that's cool.
and
That's
and then
smart
too.
because
Right.
yeah,
And
she's
then
already
too,
an
I
actress.
looked up too. There are other people who were motion captioned on the game. They're playing different roles than they were in the then because
In
the
the
guy
game.
that's playing the guy that was Joel in the game is going to be playing another character
That's
and
that's
stuff
that's
like
that's
that.
really dope how they
So
still
that's
kind of
cool that
kept it in
they're
the family. Yes,
compliment
yeah.
right. They're keeping them
That's
in the
what's up.
family with that.
That's
But
what's
yeah,
up.
so she shows that she's the leader and she's like, yo, we're gonna get these people out of here, get this girl out of here or whatever. And in the process of all that going on, Joel and Tessa, that's his wife,
Yeah.
his common law wife name, they're tracking through the innards of the city, the sewer, and they're gonna come up to surprise this dude because they know who he sold that battery to. And when they get to the door, they're like, you smell that? Gunpowder. And they look and they saw where, saying the guy that stole their battery and everything. And so it was a double cross basically, and they all killed each other.
Yeah. It's crazy because dude tried to sell the that broken battery to somebody else too. I'm like, yo, he trying to get
Yeah,
paid twice over this thing and it didn't even work.
didn't even
But
work
but
at
but,
all.
but hold on, but even before you get to that, when they was going through there and then got up and she sees like the the person that was on the wall that with the fungus and stuff.
Yeah, that was
It's like it's like it like
uh-huh.
it like it like it like spawned open and like it just was like oh it was so
Yeah,
disgusting because it like
yeah,
fungus looks disgusting anyway. And then look, it
yes,
was like it should have grew out of this man and it just stayed
yeah,
like that. Oh, it was so ugly.
yeah. And you
Ugh.
know what too? And shout out to the show open everything. It looks like a fungus just going, spreading through wherever
Yeah,
they're at
yeah,
with
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
open,
Yeah, the opening,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
It really felt Game of Thrones just to me.
Right,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
very
saying?
Game of
Like
Thrones
very
ish.
Game of
Yeah.
Thrones. I mean, but like I get what they were doing though. But yeah, it was a
Yeah.
very
I
you want
was
to hit
like,
a you want to hit
I was like, I gotta see. Right. I was sitting there looking like there's
a.
somebody on this part on the Game of Thrones staff that
I was
something
like,
we don't know
I
about.
was about to say, is Ramin Javadi about to come out of here out of
Right,
nowhere?
right.
It's like, nah, they got some
It's
other
like,
body else
this is
doing
the
the
last of us, and this is the last
yeah,
of
for
us.
real.
Like,
All right, yo. Almost over this joke.
yeah,
Like so they
yeah.
end up seeing everybody, yo. The funniest part out of this whole scene, the whole next scene, and your girl was like, yo, like I can go. She said, girl, you only got one ear.
You got one ear. Yeah. You got one ear. You don't even got an ear on your head right now. Like, I don't know if that's her homegirl, her lover, or whatever. She's
But either
like,
way,
girl,
that's like her
that
right
was just a
hand. That
yeah,
was so
that was a
funny.
funny girl. She said, I can take her. Girl, you got one ear. Just sit down. Sit down. Can you hear me? Sit down somewhere for
that
a
and
minute.
hey, he said, why you guys are deliberate? I am bleeding out over here.
Right,
You
right,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Why,
Like
yeah.
she was
Yeah.
delivering them lines, yo. Like she was real good, man.
And then
Real good.
the little girl too, when she stepped on her knife, and then how she go like he kicks it over because she was gonna try to get it, but she kicked me like, look, girl, I know what you about to do. Kick the asshole. It was so
Yeah,
bad
she was
that
cussing
she
the
could
whole time, yo.
cussing the whole time.
It
Little girl
was
was going,
funny.
oh, her
Then
mouth was
they
worse than Tanner from Bad News Bears, boy.
yeah. Yeah,
So
then they eventually figure out say, hey, you're gonna have to come with them, you know what I'm saying? And they're
mm-hmm.
gonna take you to
And
wherever
I
you
loved how he was like, I don't want to be at the same time. He's like, no. And she's like, I don't want to go with them or whatever. And I got it because I think with him, he went to a place of like, yo, I don't want to be responsible for another child that's going to possibly
yeah,
die.
that's exactly where it went. You know what I'm
That's where
saying?
exactly he
That's
went. And it
exactly where it
shows
went.
that
Oh
later on
yeah.
in that
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
so they make a deal and they go back to their apartment, just get some
Oh
stuff.
yeah. Totally forgot. Like he's trying to go to Wyoming. He's trying to go to Wyoming. Like that's where
Mm-hmm.
his brother is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're in Boston. You know what I'm saying? Like, and your dude says there's a lot worse thing than the infection on the way. There's also raiders and
Yeah.
slavers. I
And he
was
was like,
like,
yeah, I said slavers. Right, because
mhm.
he went to the guy that's in charge of, I guess, the communication towers or whatever, where people go to see if they can get messages sent across. And he was like, I'm pretty sure your brother's safe. And then he was like, what? He says, I need to know where this tower is. And he was like, man, there are worse things out there than the infected. You got this, you got slavers, you got he was like, yeah, but my brother's okay then, huh? And that made absolutely perfect sense. Like he's fine, but you didn't telling me about all this other stuff, excuse me, that's out there.
Yeah, that
So
wasn't a good sell. You know what I'm saying?
no, it wasn't a good sell at all. So Joel and Tessa go back to their apartment with the little girl, and the little girl sees that he has some type of code with the radio or whatever that gives out information about with the songs that from the eras they're in. I forgot what they said for the 60s and 70s, but
60s
when
was
them
like some new news, something like that. I
uh-huh
forgot. Yeah.
and the
And
80s was like it was an X up there for the 80s, and
yeah.
she figured it out and was like, hey, on the radio, a song came on. He was like, what was it? He was like, I don't, something about go go, don't wake
You
me
wake me
up,
up.
wake me up to go go. And you saw him flinch like, huh? And she was
Oh,
like, so 80s means something bad. And he just looked at her like, asshole, little bastard or whatever.
yes.
And so they start to make their way. The wife comes back and is like, hey, I found a way for us to get out of here, but we got to go now. And they decide to, get ready to go out, and they get outside the gate of, saying the facility. And this is the girl's first time out. Remember, this little girl doesn't know what life was like
Mm-mm.
before this
Mm-mm.
whole thing happened. So this whole thing has no idea. And the wife brought that up too when she said she got jumped, by the guy. It was like, yeah, some punks, they weren't around, how they didn't know how civil things were before, all this happened. So she gets outside the gate and she's like, oh my God, this is my first time outside the quarantine zone. And they trying to escape, and what do? They accidentally run into the guy that Joelle supplied the drugs for, the cop they supplied the drugs for. He over there taking a leak, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Yo, dude, you know that this guy goes scavenging and get stuff. Yo, just let him go ahead and bounce." But he want to
He's like,
be,
nah, yo,
oh
I
no,
told y'all before, don't come out tonight, yo.
yeah,
Told you.
yeah. And then he was
Yeah.
like, "We're gonna do this by the books," and he pulls out this little meter thing to test to see if they're infected. And when he tests first, you saw the girl Veronica, whatever her name is, you saw her like get nervous, like, oh shoot, like this is not gonna be well. And then they get to her and he looked and he did, and then she just stabs him in his junk.
Yes.
She stabs with the knife that she had got back, stabbed him in his junk, and he's like, what? And he pulls the gun out, and that's when Joelle has a flashback.
Woo, he got triggered,
He
boy.
got triggered because it kind of was the same scene when he was trying to get away with his daughter in the first 10 minutes of the show,
Uh-huh.
and the officer shot. So he went into Mama Bear mode. He said he charged the guy and completely beat the living hell out of him. And the funny thing about it, if you watch it again, you missed it the first time, the little girl, she is digging it.
Oh yeah,
She is
yeah, yeah,
love
yeah, yeah,
she
yeah.
is loving it. And I think
Yeah.
she's loving it because no one has ever showed her or protected her like that. So it
Oh
ends with
yeah.
them leaving. Great episode, so them leaving the zone, and great episode. I mean, that's how you start a show.
It's amazing. I can't even lie.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's it for this, man. We're gonna get
Yeah.
back to this next week. If you
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen it, definitely watch the show. And
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna be blasting this on social the entire week. So I hope y'all watch
Indeed.
it.
All right.
All
Hope
right,
y'all
man. Till the
watch it. Let
next
me know how
time,
we do.
y'all. Definitely watch it.
Peace.